All right, so first, an angle bisector. You should know how to make an angle bisector. We have made angle bisectors. So, the first thing that you do to make an angle bisector is you're going to go to one of your vertices. Personally, can everyone just go to their top one? Okay, so go to your top vertex, and your curve does not have to be very big. We just need to go across the curve. So I'm going to make it like an inch, like not very big. We don't want it huge and drawn all over our whole picture. Okay, so the pointy part's going to go on my vertex, like this, and I'm literally just making one curve. Boop. Can y'all see my curve? You should be able to see your curve. It's a little light, but you should still kind of be able to see it. Next, you take your pencil, not the compass, and you're going to make a point at this intersection and this intersection, because those are your new points that you're going to use to do your next two curves. Is this coming back to you? Maybe, maybe not. So we're bisecting this by doing two curves, one from this point and one from this point. I'm going to take my protractor. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. And I'm going to do two half circles. So from this point, just remember, when you're going between your two curves, do not mess with the width of this. Your width is this. Do not touch it. So I'm just touching this silver part. Okay? So the point goes at the point. The point goes at the point. And we are just going to make a half circle. 1, 2, 3. Whoop. Okay? And you're going to flip it, and you're going to make a half circle from here. It should intersect at two separate points. Mine is intersecting at the vertex. Not everybody's is going to do that, but that's where mine's intersecting. Where it intersects, you're going to put a point there, and you're going to put a point at the other intersection. Mine is kind of a bad example because mine intersected at the vertex. Yours should not have intersected at the vertex. So anybody's not intersected at the vertex. It really shouldn't have. Okay. So you're going to connect your 2 points and your vertex all together. And you just created your angle bisector. So here's the thing. All day today and for the rest of time, you are drawing your line all the way through your triangle. There you go. Okay, so this side of your angle is congruent to this side of your angle. And put one tick mark on there because that is our first angle that we have bisected. Then I want you to bisect the one in the bottom left. You are not doing the third one today, just the bottom left. So let's do a curve. I'm going to make mine a little bit bigger since mine looked a little wacko last time. What do I do after my curve? Huh? Yes, the points with your pencil. Okay. Now, I'm going to do 2 more curves. One right here. And then I'm going to flip it, and I'm not going to touch the width. And I'm going to do one right here. Oh, were my curves big enough? No. So what am I going to have to do? I'm going to have to erase them and do them again. Okay, this is not correct. You cannot, do you see how they don't intersect? So I've got to make my curve bigger. So I'm going to erase these. Okay. These 2 points are really all I need, so those are fine. So I've got to make my protractor bigger. Why do I keep calling it a protractor? I've got to make my compass bigger. Make it bigger now. So now I'm going to do a curve this way. Whoop. Kind of obnoxious. Don't touch the width. And do a curve this way. Boop. And I'm going to connect my 2 intersections. And what did I just make? It should go directly through your vertex. And And we made our angle bisector. Remember, you got to go all the way through. And then I'm going to make my tick marks. How many tick marks will I put on this one? 2, because this is the second angle that we've made. Do not make the third one. Do not make the third one. When you are done, flip over and let's do a perpendicular bisector. Okay, flipping over. Okay, mine is kind of crooked. Do y'all see how it's kind of crooked? So I'm going to make it so that this is flat. So I'm just going to turn my paper a little bit because it's easier. Okay, which one are we on now? Perpendicular bisector. How do you make a perpendicular bisector? Anybody know? So we're going to create the midpoint. So perpendicular bisector is super easy because you already have your endpoints. Okay? So this is my first end point. This is my second end point. And we're going to draw 2 curves to get the middle, and it makes it perpendicular. How big do you need to make your compass? More than halfway. So is this more than halfway? No, I got to stretch it. So I'm going to have a pretty big curve, right? That looks about good to me. Right? Your perpendicular bisector does not go through the vertex. So this line is not going to go through this opposite vertex, okay? So I'm going to put my point on my point, and I'm going to draw a curve. Ooh. Beautiful. Do not touch the width. Point on point. Oops. Draw a curve. Does it connect twice? Yes. I'm going to put a point at those 2 points. And you're going to draw your line all the way through your triangle. And you just created a perpendicular bisector. When you create a perpendicular bisector, you have to mark 2 things on your triangle. Can someone tell me the 2 things?
What's the bottom line of that?
Okay, so I'm going to do a tick mark on this side and a tick mark on this side. What else? Yes, the right angle. Good. So we're going to do a right triangle. So this one to me is the easiest one because you're literally just doing 2 things. Okay. Now make the perpendicular bisector for one more side. Not all 3, just one more. So I'm going to turn my paper this way. And I'm going to make it for this one right here. Right angle. And then what kind of tick marks do we do? 2 of them. Good. So 1, 2, 1, 2. All right, for the sake of time, take the next 30 seconds and finish what you're doing, and then go to the median. Okay, go to the median now. So what is a median? Huh? Nobody knows what a median is.
It separates, it connects the midpoint of two sides.
That's a mid-segment, but good try. A median cuts the opposite side in half and meets the vertex. So it goes from the vertex to that midpoint of the opposite side. So the only way to find the midpoint of the opposite side is to act like you're doing a perpendicular bisector. We are not going to do a perpendicular bisector, but we have to find the middle, right? So in order to do that, let's find the middle. Let's draw our two curves. So I'm going to do this bottom one. I'm going to make my curve a little over more than halfway. I'm going to curve. And I'm going to curve this way. Okay. It's not going to go directly to the median. Do not make any marks. Okay. You're going to take your ruler and you're going to connect these 2 points with the ruler. Do you see what 2 points I'm talking about? The two intersections. So that it intersects up here and it intersects down here. Put your ruler right next to it where they intersect. Like this. Now, your midpoint is on the side, correct? So all you're going to do is make a little mark right there on the side. Do y'all see how I did that? I technically connected them with my ruler, but I didn't draw a line. I just made a point where it's on the side of the triangle. And then take this off. And then again, it connects the what to the midpoint? The vertex. So the opposite vertex is this one up here. So we're going to connect our vertex to the midpoint. And that is our median. So one tick point on the left, one tick point on the right. Do one more. So I'm going to do this big one right here. I'm going to do a curve here. And I'm going to do a curve here. They do intersect. Oops. I'm going to take my ruler and put it next to where they intersect. And I'm going to draw a point on my line. And we will connect the vertex to that midpoint. Do y'all see some stuff lining up? Anybody? Start to see some stuff lining up together. So this one's going to have 2 tick marks on it. Okay, we've got 8 minutes left, so this next one's going to go kind of quick. What's the last one we have to do? Altitude. What is an altitude? What? An altitude has an attitude because it has to be how many degrees? 90 degrees. So an altitude, write this on here, goes from vertex to 90 degrees. Okay? That's the difference between that and a perpendicular bisector. It has to come from the vertex. So the very first thing you always have to do with an altitude is draw a curve from the vertex. Then you'll realize what you have to do after that. So choose your vertex. I'm personally going to choose this top one. And you have to draw a curve that's going to intersect the opposite side at 2 points. Okay? So it's got to be long enough to intersect the opposite side. So you're going to have to stretch it out. Go a tiny bit over it. Okay? So mine's going to intersect it here and here. Do I need to do that again? Where it intersects, make 2 points. These are now your end points that you are making the perpendicular bisector of. Okay? So how do you make a perpendicular bisector? We're just going to draw 2 curves. So we're going to go this way, not touch the width, and we're going to go this way. And we're not just going to connect these 2 intersections. What do we also have to connect to? The what? What does an altitude have to go through? The vertex. So go to your vertex and then connect it to these 2 things. And that is your altitude. It probably doesn't help that my triangle looks a little like an equilateral. Okay. Does the altitude bisect? No. It just goes from the vertex to a 90-degree angle. Do y'all want to do one more? Altitude? I think we should. Okay, so I'm going to do this altitude across from it. And the first thing you have to do is make a curve. Oops.